The world is changing rapidly. Our ever-increasing population, environmental changes, and the depletion of our natural resources add insurmountable challenges to human society in the 21st century. Despite several technological breakthroughs in various fields, we have an enormous task ahead to create a sustainable development model. It took until 1800 for human population to reach 1 billion people, and this then doubled by 1923, a mere 123 years. 89 years on, and today's global population stands at 7 billion. Experts predict that human population will reach 9 billion people around 2050, and without a major transformation to the way we do business, this will exert an unsustainable toll on our planet. We need to look at new strategies that will enable the planet to continue to support our population and allow everyone to lead a fulfilling life. Across the continents, we already see that the populations have already passed the ability of each continent to support them in the long term. By studying our ecological footprint carefully, and according to the United Nations, most parts of the world, and especially India, China, and Southeast Asia, face extreme stress as the amount of ecologically productive land and water fail to support the growing needs of an increasingly affluent society. An equal society using today's technologies and methodologies to support it would need 4 times the land that this planet has. A report from the Stockholm Resilience Center indicates that we're reaching the tolerance limits in several of the major systems that regulate life on Earth. The nitrogen cycle, in which nitrogen is released from excessive fertilizer use into major water bodies, is causing physical, chemical, and biological changes that erode their ability to provide good water. Species loss is 100 times the natural rate, and this is of concern because we're not very sure how the interdependencies work, and so losing species could result in unforeseen circumstances. We use the services of, and we gain tremendous value from, ecosystems that are often not paid for. An example of this would be the bees pollinating the rice crop. If we destroy their natural habitat to a point where bees disappear, then our own food source becomes threatened. The atmosphere captures heat from the sun, using a greenhouse effect to maintain an acceptable temperature for life on Earth. As carbon dioxide levels increase, so does the amount of heat captured, in turn raising the average temperature. As ice melts, glaciers will be unable to capture winter snow and provide water all year round. Sea levels will rise, and it's likely that people will have to migrate to cooler regions. If we look at other global mega trends, we see that globalization has helped many people out of poverty. We're living longer and healthier lives. However, we've started to see the rise of drug-resistant bacteria, HIV/AIDS, and other issues that threaten to reverse the trend. If we're to live within Earth's natural boundaries, businesses will have a major role to play, and this will be achieved by operating to much higher standards in many areas not traditionally measured or managed. Today, business has a generous space bounded by local laws within which to operate. Business as usual will not make businesses sustainable when they face growing external pressures as the planet and society deteriorate. If we choose to operate to the international standards developed by the banks and international bodies, such as the United Nations and the International Finance Corporation, we take a step in the right direction. If we consider best practice, rarely is any company operating at best practice in all it does because it requires a lot more control, very advanced management systems, increased management awareness, and often increased costs associated with the ability to manage in this tighter operating space. If we project forward to 2030 and 2050, in order to bring the resources used, the carbon dioxide produced, and the levels of pollution within the safe planetary operating boundaries, the allowable operating space for business will become extremely tight. The expectations from business leaders and the requirements placed on management personnel will grow enormously. Businesses are entering a sustainability life cycle curve, which will see a shakeout of the companies that fail to or cannot transform fast enough. If not, humanity will not fit inside the acceptable limits of the planet and society. Sustainability for a business means its ability to survive and thrive as these changes happen, and thus it has to be the major business goal. So what will push business to change? in a democratic world, as the majority is judged to accept tighter laws, so they come into force often after a crisis. International standards will move as technocrats find consensus and agree to new conventions, and best practice will be led by visionary leaders who see the need to be the best and to put that goal above simple economics. When standards move, it causes a disruption that businesses must be able to survive. If not, they'll be shaken out of existence by their competition. These disruptions will not affect all businesses equally. Between now and 2050, pioneering leaders will have to transform their businesses, innovating new technologies, developing new methodologies, and creating better management systems so that we're considerably ahead of best practice today. Only by doing so will their businesses and the planet be sustainable. What does this mean to our businesses at the Aditya Birla Group? ABG's vision is to be the leading Indian conglomerate in sustainable business practices across all our operations by 2017. We are on a mission. We're committed to sustainability through the continuous improvement of our operating standards, understanding how the expectations of our stakeholders are growing and our operating space is shrinking, and then creating and preparing for disruptive innovations in order to future-proof our businesses. To survive and thrive, we will implement our sustainable business model in all our businesses. The first pillar of our model is called responsible stewardship. This is how we manage our business today and how we move rapidly to meet international standards. This will be a transition, and we're creating the ABG Sustainability Framework, aligned to international standards, to help our businesses move forward. The second pillar of our model is stakeholder engagement. We must consult experts to understand how fast the convergence of external expectations will happen in different areas. How fast will the operating space shrink? Where are disruptions likely to occur? The third pillar of our model is future-proofing. Here, we use the information gained from our stakeholders to improve our strategic plans to future-proof our supply chain and ourselves. However, we cannot forecast the future perfectly, and so we must continually test our plans against different potential future scenarios to ensure they are robust. Sustainability is the goal, and transforming our business is the process we must follow. We must minimize our contribution to the negative changes that are occurring around us and promote the positive. We will reach our goal by building businesses that will be able to survive and thrive to 2030 and beyond, and in doing so, maximize our contribution to a sustainable world. Responsible stewardship requires us to demonstrate positive legal compliance with local laws and operate to international sustainability standards for human rights, diversity, biodiversity management, and others. Collect our performance data and benchmark it against international standards and our competitors' performance. Reduce our footprint by finding ways to reduce accidents, carbon dioxide and other emissions, water usage, and waste creation. Identify process innovations and best practices that afford cost savings and find win-win economic solutions. Increase our renewable energy use so that it becomes a meaningful percentage of our energy matrix. Acting this way will enhance our reputation, which in turn will help us build stronger relationships, leading to greater stakeholder engagement. Stakeholder engagement means publishing a sustainable development report for the group and reporting our carbon dioxide emissions. Creating a platform for innovation involving multi-stakeholder groups. Employing life cycle analysis to increase our understanding of our whole value chain. Sharing information transparently, thereby building greater trust. Building partnerships with universities, research centers, NGOs, and with leading experts. And building an information repository, including a register of our commitments. By doing so, we'll gain the knowledge to future-proof our business. Future-proofing our business by creating a strategic plan that will define how we will fully integrate sustainability considerations into our decision-making processes. Invest capital and operating expenditures in transforming our performance. Develop game-changing innovations in our products and processes by providing space for our engineers and managers to innovate successfully. Test our plans against potential future scenarios. Most importantly, we must strategically position ourselves in a sweet spot that is always within the shrinking funnel, thus making the Aditya Birla Group sustainable. We need all ABG businesses to have a robust and affordable plan indicating sustainable future beyond 2030, where everyone contributes to their fullest ability. Everyone in the Aditya Birla understands the importance of achieving the 2017 Sustainability Vision, transforming our performance, transparently reporting our progress, and making our contribution to mankind's sustainable future on this planet that we call home.